Yo, what up guys, it's your boy Chris Lee. Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be matchmaking UFC 327 winners and losers. We're going to start off with the main event winner, move on, so on and so on, move on to the losers. You get the premise. Let's get right into it with the winner of the main event, Carlos Ulberg. He violently knocked out Yuri Prochazka on a torn ACL or Achilles, one of the two. Regardless, it's pretty much confirmed that he will be out of action for the next 9 to 12 months. So, he will probably either have to fight when he returns next year. He will either have to return for the interim title, or defend against the interim title, or fight for the title because of vacating. I don't know what they're going to do, but there will be an interim or a new champion in the meantime while he's recovering. Most likely an interim. So when he gets back, he'll just fight whoever the interim title is. Yeah. So, getting into who I think the interim fight should be is the winner of the co-main event. Paulo Costa dismantled, beat the shit out of Azamat Murzakanov over 3 rounds and finished him, broke his forearms. He looks fantastic at light heavyweight. I think he should stay at light heavyweight, and I think they should reward him with a shot at the light heavyweight champion interim title against the former champion Magomed Ankalaev. You can't give Yuri another title shot. You can't give him. He's been violently knocked out in the last 3 title shots he's earned. Magomed was on an 8-fight win streak. Then he lost to Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is no longer in the division. There's not many deserving contenders. Give Magomed Paulo Costa, winner of this, is the interim title holder. And Magomed only fights like once a year, so if he wins, he'll go against Carlos Ulberg middle of next year. Paulo Costa could, if he wins this, he could defend his interim, or he could wait out and wait for Carlos Ulberg. I think this is the match you make for the interim title. Moving on to the featured fight of the evening. Josh Hokett is already confirmed on the same night that he is fighting Derek Lewis at the White House. This isn't the fight I would have made. Derek Lewis proved that he is a top 5 heavyweight in the world. I would have had him wait out for the loser of Volkov-Waldo. Because I think whoever wins that fight is getting the next title shot after. Well, there's a lineup right now. It's going to be Tom Aspinall fights the winner of Pereira-Gon. Then Aspinall or Pereira, whoever wins that fight, would fight Volkov or Waldo. Which I think Volkov will be the next title holder. Or next title contender. But this is a crazy fight. Josh Hokett is incredibly open on the feet. Derek Lewis has a puncher's chance to knock him out cold. This is going to be on the White House card. There's not much to say. Josh Hokett had one of the most impressive heavyweight fights of all time. It was crazy. It was so fun. It was the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. And then you give him the Black Beast. Fun fight. Risky fight, because Derek Lewis could chin the fuck out of Josh Hokett, but Josh Hokett could get another good name on the resume. And then after this, it sets him up pretty well for a title shot. Because, you know, they love promotability, and the heavyweight lacks that. So, he could have one more fight after this, and then a title shot. Or he could just go right into a title shot. But regardless, I think there's not much to say because this fight's already confirmed. Dominic Reyes has one of the worst light heavyweight fights I've ever personally witnessed. In an almost guaranteed finished fight. They had a stinker performance, under 20 significant strikes each. Johnny Walker should be fed to the wolves. Dominic Reyes should have the hardest step-up competition. And I think that's Khalil Roundtree. Khalil is not booked. He's the only light heavyweight above him that isn't booked in a fight right now besides Magomed. Dominic Reyes didn't do anything to prove he needs a title shot. He didn't do anything that deserves praise. He had a very bad performance. You give him Khalil Roundtree, a phenomenal striker, a powerful striker. If Dominic Reyes could beat Khalil Roundtree, he could be back in the title shots. I think Khalil Roundtree chins the shit out of Dominic But you have to punish Dominic for that performance. You give him a step up, but you give him a hard step up. You give him someone that will keep walking forward, won't have a boring fight, and that is Khalil. So, I mean, I'm a fan of Dominic Reyes. I want him to lose, though. I want him to lose this fight just purely because of what he did in that last fight. Moving on to the first fight of the main card. Cub Swanson beat the shit out of Nate Landwehr, knocked him out in the first round. The perfect retirement fight. He is not going to have any more professional fights. He's announced his retirement. Good on him. One of the funnest fighters of all time. Happy retirement. On to the featured prelim. Aaron Pico proved that he is UFC level. 30-26. Patricio Pitbull dominated him on the ground and on the feet. Mainly on the feet. He needs a massive step up in competition. And I was going to originally give him the loser of Aljo Zalal. But I don't think that's a fun enough fight. Because both of them will try and wrestle fuck Pico. And I don't want that. So I'm going to give him the loser of Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. I think it would be a crazy fight. Guaranteed finish in that fight. Steve Garcia is a heavy power puncher. Diego Lopez, we all know what Lopez is. Heavy power puncher. Phenomenal chin. Great jiu-jitsu. That would be the fight I would want to see, but I think Diego Lopez is going to beat Steve Garcia at the White House. So the fight I'm predicting is going to be Aaron Pico, Steve Garcia. That is if Aaron Pico wants to wait out that amount of time, because it would be around November, December that this fight would be made, I would assume. Otherwise, you could do Aaron Pico, Zalal, or Aljo, one of those two. But if you want the best fun fight that you could make, 3 guaranteed fun fights, regardless of the competition, this is the fight you make. And if Aaron Pico does somehow get matched up against Diego Lopez, the winner of that would be right back into the title contention. Moving on. Okay. Is that... yeah, okay. Kevin Holland beat Randy Brown in a fairly boring decision, but he looks more dedicated to the game. He looks much cleaner on the feet. Really good darts choke again. Somehow Randy Brown escaped that darts choke. You match him against Jacoby Smith. Kevin Holland is not going to fight a ranked contender right now, or a ranked opponent right now. Jacoby Smith is on a 3-fight win streak, or he's on a multiple fight win streak, but 3 in the UFC, I believe. He called out Kevin Holland in his last fight. They're on similar timetables. Kevin Holland makes quick turnaround after quick turnaround. Book this fight. Why not? Kevin Holland versus a prospect. If Kevin Holland beats Jacoby Smith, he'll fight a ranked fighter. If Jacoby Smith beats Kevin Holland, that's a phenomenal name on his record, and he'll probably fight a ranked opponent. There's no downside to this fight. Kevin Holland will accept it. Jacoby Smith obviously called him out. The only other fights I could see for Kevin Holland is like the Daniel Rodriguez rematch, which I don't think is happening because Daniel Rodriguez said he's fighting Leon Edwards, which is a fucking stupid fight. Leon Edwards is just going to piece him up on the outside for 3 rounds. Or you can make Kevin Holland Colby Covington. But Covington doesn't fight anymore. Mateus Gamrot versus Manuel Torres. Manuel Torres was supposed to fight Dariush. Everyone above Gamrot, I don't want to see him fight. I think everyone above him is going to be booked within the next couple months. So I think Gamrot has to fight down. After that stinker of a performance against Oliveira, he submitted an unranked lightweight in Esteban Rivovic. I think Manuel Torres is going to get a massive jump up in competition, and I believe that person will be Gamrot. Gamrot has the wrestling. Torres has the striking. It's a battle of styles. The winner of this will get a massive jump up and get probably a top 6 fighter. And if Gamrot can beat Torres, he's well on his way to get into the title picture for the first time in his career. Because Gamrot's very inconsistent. He builds a 3-fight win streak, loses, builds up one again. Right as he's about to hold the title, he loses, gets shot down the rankings. He struggled to keep momentum. Torres is surging. So many first round finishes. Knocked out Grant Dawson in the first round, which I predicted. Great pick by me. Yeah, so I think Torres is going to win. I think Torres would win this fight. Tatiana Suarez. Boring fight. Tatiana proved that she isn't terrible. She's a UFC level fighter. She got nearly knocked out cold by Lupe Godinez, but she was able to keep Godinez really close to her body, get her in a clinch, get her to the ground, and then after that it was just domination. Lupe had nothing to offer on her back. She couldn't get Tatiana off of her. And Tatiana found the finish. And I said this last week when Verna beat, not last week, but the week before, I think. Verna and Tatiana are both coming off title losses. Neither of them are going to fight for a title next. They're right beside each other in the rankings. You give them each other, and the winner of this could get right back at a title shot. Yeah, there's not much to say. This is like the easiest fight to matchmake. Because Tatiana, Verna, somehow they've never fought. Verna's coming off that win against someone, I forget her name. What was her name? I picked her. Tabitha Ritchie. Obviously, Tatiana's coming off of a Lupe Godinez win. They're both coming off wins. I was going to say finishes, but Verna never finishes anyone. Yeah, book this fight. Moving on to the first fight of the evening. Is this the first fight? No, there's one more. Okay. There's actually 3 more. Goddamn. Chris Padilla, yes, I know his fight was scored a draw, but I'm not settling for that. Padilla won that fight easily. It's easier to score 30-26 Padilla than it is to score Markel that fight. So I don't know how it was a draw. No way in hell that was a draw. Padilla's phenomenal. I really, really like his fighting style. I think you give him a big name, an unranked big name, and then you can give him a ranked fighter if he beats that said big name. And I think that big name is going to be Bobby Green. Bobby Green's never going to fight for a title. He's never going to fight ranked opponents. He's old. He has fun fights. Book him against one of the best defensive strikers in the division, Chris Padilla. Regardless if Bobby Green chins or loses to Jeremy Stevens, book this fight. Bobby Green, his turnaround is like 3 weeks most of the time. Padilla will fight again this year, probably in June or July. He's very fun to watch. His elbows are insane. He has power to knock out King Green. But he also kind of has the style where Bobby Green could just style on him. So, book this fight. I think Chris Padilla would win this. And I'm very excited to see Chris Padilla on a win streak. And to win fights dominantly, I'd like to see him get a finish, which I believe he could get. Moving on. Calvin Gastelum had people thinking Vicente Luque is back to his original form. And to shut that down, I say give him a high-ranked or a highly touted unranked fighter in Abus Magomedov. Abus is coming off that loss to Joe Pyfer. Obviously, Luque just beat the shit out of Calvin Gastelum and submitted him in the first round. Book this fight. Winner of them could get back into the rankings. I think Abus would win this. But Vicente is looking better. He's looking faster on the feet. Why not make this fight? Yes, you could give someone who's surging up the unranked category of the welterweight or middleweight division, Vicente Luque, to give them that boost, give him a little bit more credibility. But he's a legend. He won a fight dominantly against Calvin Gastelum. Should give him a step up in competition in Abus. Radke, there's not much to say about this. He's on a win streak. He's looked better and better in each one of his fights. He could be a ranked fighter now. Give him Neil Magny. If he wins that, put him at number 15 in the welterweight division. On to the losers. Oh. It pains me to see Yuri on here. It really does. This fight has been wanting... People have wanted this fight for a long time. Jan Blachowicz versus Yuri Prochazka. Win or lose against Bogdan Guskov. Book this fight. Yuri's going to have to fight down in the rankings. Jan is, regardless if he beats Guskov or loses, he'll be kind of similar in the rankings. He'll be 5 or 6. He's not getting a title shot. He'll probably have to fight down. Book this fight. Put it in the Czech Republic. Dude, Yuri could have been title holder, dude, if Yuri just wasn't so autistic. I don't know how this fight's never been made. People have wanted this fight to be made for a long time. I booked this fight, obviously, because I want to see this fight, and it makes the most sense. But, honestly, if I'm Yuri, I'm thinking about moving down to middleweight. He's going to be the Max Holloway of the light heavyweight division. He's lost 3 title shots in a row. He's not going to get another title shot at light heavyweight. Move down. And I actually had another slide planned, but I deleted it, I believe. Yuri versus Israel Adesanya at middleweight. Book that fight, and that could get one of them on track to have some type of momentum at middleweight. But if Yuri stays at light heavyweight, which I do believe he will, give him Jan. Win or lose against Guskov. And that fight's being made for 328. Yuri's going to want to spend time with his kid. Book it for September, October. In like Abu Dhabi. On to the co-main event loser. Azamat Murzakanov got fraud checked by Paulo Costa. All of the momentum he had got zapped out of his body, just like all the energy he did after a body kick. He got fraud checked. He lost pretty badly. He didn't have a moment of success in that fight. And I believe he's going to fight Volkan Oezdemir. Volkan is an underrated light heavyweight. Or is it a light heavyweight? Yeah. He's an underrated light heavyweight. He is going to be looking for a step up in competition after he knocked out Johnny Walker a couple months ago. They're both bald. They both have beards. They're both foreign. Just booked this fight. I don't know what else to say. Originally, I had Azamat versus Bogdan Guskov, but I thought it would be too weird to have both fighters, Jan and Guskov, back-to-back. And if Guskov wins, he could be the interim fighter to challenge for the title. So, I don't know. But Azamat got fraud checked. I was saying he was going to get fraud checked all year. In any fight, I really didn't think he was going to make it out of 2026 undefeated. And I was right. So give him Oezdemir. I think he flatlines Oezdemir, but on to the featured fight loser. Curtis Blaydes had a fight of the year contender. Definitely the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. Give him Tyrell Fortune. An easy fight for Curtis Blaydes. A winnable fight for Curtis Blaydes. You gotta reward him after a fight like that. You don't give him a Sergey Pavlovich. You don't give him a monster. You give him someone that he can approach, that he doesn't have to fear. And that is Tyrell Fortune, because Tyrell isn't the most dangerous on the feet. He does have wrestling, but those Curtis Blaydes and Tyrell Fortune's wrestling will kind of counteract, and it will just be a striking fight. And on the feet, I think it's pretty even. Winnable fight for both of them. Approachable fight for both of them. I would lean Blaydes winning. I was going to you should just give Johnny Walker the most violent fighter of all time. Nikita Krylov will find a finish. He will force the fight out of Johnny Walker. Nikita Krylov has never gone to decision. He has either been finished or finished every one of his opponents. Give him Johnny Walker. Make Johnny Walker get finished. Violently. Get another finish out of him. And Nikita Krylov's kind of on a winning streak now, right? He beat Madeshkas Bukowskis by finish. And he could finish Johnny Walker, and then he would be in the top 10 again. And Nikita Krylov is so entertaining. Did I skip over 2? No. Nate Landwehr is washed as a motherfucker. He used to be the comeback king. He used to be fun, entertaining. He used to be durable as fuck. He's been knocked out in his last 3 fights violently. He's very washed, and I think you give him a contender that could get a boost off of getting a Nate win that can very much be boasted up into the ranked conversations if they get a win over Nate. And I think the person you do that for is Jose Delano, who just beat Robert Riccella last week or the week before. Similar timetables, yet again, they both just fought. Nate's going to need a little bit of time off due to the, massive concussion he had after getting knocked down brutally by Cub. Delano isn't very active. Give this fight an international fight week. Book this fight. Delano's a phenomenal striker. Nate will bang with anyone. This will be a finish either way. I think Delano finishes Nate Landwehr. Nathaniel Wood is finally getting his ranked fight. After 400 successful fights, Nathaniel Wood will finally get a ranked opponent. Give him Patricio Pitbull. I had this fight booked after the Louise Queda fight, or Lucine Queda's fight. I think it's even more, written in the stars to make this fight now. Very similar styles, similar size. Just book this fight. Why not? Nathaniel Wood deserves a ranked opponent. He's beaten everyone. Randy Brown should fight Seo Hyun Ko, who just beat Phil Rowe and Obon Elliott. I know I butchered the name. I'm sorry. I struggle with, foreign names, but he's very good. He's a very grapple-heavy fighter. Great control. Randy Brown is on a 2-fight losing streak. He got brutally knocked out by Gabriel Bonfirm, and he got kind of styled on by Kevin Holland. So he's not going to be fighting a ranked opponent, obviously. He's fighting down. Hyun is fighting up. He just beat Phil Rowe. I think Randy Brown is a reasonable step up in competition. He's a known name. If he gets a win over that, he could be looking towards the top 15 fight. Just book this fight. Ribovich. My favorite fighter in the lightweight division, Ribovich. Got dominated. He got dominated in the first round. Had almost no offense. And in the second round, he got taken down yet again and submitted. Don't give him a wrestler. Give him someone that will stand and bang. Give him someone that will have a very fun fight. That will be a finish. Who's incredibly durable. Give him Drew Dober. Why not? Drew Dober's coming off of a knockout win against Michael Johnson. Esteban's fighting down again. He's going to be fighting an unranked opponent. Winner of this could possibly get another ranked shot. And, Drew Dober will probably lose this fight because Esteban is a Caucasian man. And, Drew Dober doesn't have his body cam on when he fights people of other races. Lupi Godinez is going to fight Denise Gomez. There's not much to say. Lupi got dominated in that fight in the second round. Pretty much dominated in the first, besides that almost KO. Denise Gomez is coming off of a win, I think. Lupi's going to be fighting down. I think she's number 6 or 7. She's number 11, I think. Just book this fight. Get one of them on track. Marquel Banderos versus Nazim Sadikov. This was the original fight that was meant to happen. Just book it. Why not? Rebook this fight. If Nazim wins, he could get a ranked opponent. If Marquel wins, he could be looking at a, highly touted unranked fighter. Nazim is that highly touted unranked fighter, but, Medeiros lost that fight to Padilla. He should fight the original person that he was meant to be booked against. And this would be a crazy fun fight. Yeah, you could see how far and how disrespected I am that Kelvin Gastelum is still in the UFC. Give him Atiba. Let's see if Atiba can crack that chin and fully flatline Kelvin Gastelum. There's not much to say. Kelvin is a fat middleweight. Atiba needs a legitimate name on his record. Kelvin is clearly washed. His striking isn't crisp anymore. He doesn't implement his wrestling well. Atiba will walk down Kelvin and probably flatline him. And we need Atiba to actually start fighting real people. I like Francisco Prada. I think he's a fun fighter. I don't want him to get cut. He's young. Austin Vanderford is pretty shit. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. I think you book this fight, and loser of it gets cut, winner stays on type fight. So, if you guys agree with my picks, please comment and tell me below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.